Nau mai hoki mai to this podcast, and got one of my brothers up in here today, and off camera, off the show, we always have some next level conversations that add value to each of us. It's a mutually beneficial relationship that has just grown over the recent years, and very fortunate to have him come through. We've been wanting to tee this up for some time, but the stars have aligned for us today to wānanga, to bring one of our regular conversations in front of the mic, so those of you can enjoy and hopefully receive some value. So my brother Riapo, nau mai.
Kia ora, bro. Awesome to be here.
Bro.
Yeah, like you say, bro, it's been a long time coming, and we do have awesome conversations that are, I come away from our conversations really inspired, bro. I sometimes come away challenged, with new things to think about in terms of growth and stuff like that. So yeah, bro, the exciting thing about today, I guess, is it's not going to be any different. It's just into a microphone, bro, but it's how it is all the time between you and I love it, bro.
Hard, and I think it's cool to base a relationship that we've been able to create that was basically just deep straight away, Like, we didn't really fluff around with certain things. It was more so, all right, boom, we just showed up and started to explore these thoughts, and we're just vibing. And for me, it's something that I genuinely receive a lot from, in terms of not just the wisdom that I receive, but the energy that is reciprocated within those kinds of spaces. So for us to have those kinds of conversations has created us to a strong connection in terms of this brotherhood friendship. And I remember when you first reached out to me online, when you saw me doing podcasts, and you're like, bro, I got the studio up in Auckland. If you ever need a user, bro, you can do that. And what I received from you, and getting to know you even more, is you really are thoughtful and giving. And where does that come from for you, brother? Like, just having that kind of...
Yeah, I think it comes from, it definitely comes from my mum, bro. That's her nature, to be very giving and kind and loving. And I think the other thing too, bro, is that I came from a place of, I wouldn't say scarcity, bro, but we didn't have anything more than we needed, growing up. So a very humble beginning. And throughout my life, I guess I've managed to do things to position myself well in terms of career and that kind of thing. And so I've never forgotten where I've come from, bro, and that's why at any opportunity that I can help or help pull people up, I'll take that opportunity, bro, because it's no skin off my nose to help. It doesn't hurt me or affect me negatively. If anything, it's there's only good that comes from reaching out and helping people. I didn't even meet you, bro. I just enjoyed your podcast, bro. So I was like, if the bro ever needs to talk to someone in Auckland, then we've got a beautiful space that can happen. And so, yeah.
Man, full circle moment, brother?
Yeah.
Crazy. You're in my studio.
Yeah. Hard out, bro. Yeah.
Buzzy. And bro, like, for those of you, or for the people who might not necessarily be aware of who you are, you're a man of many talents, many skills, but if you're able just to share a little bit of your story, bro, and perhaps some of the things that you do, bro, your passions or something along those lines.
Yeah, bro. So I'm a Rotorua boy, bro, through and through, born and raised. And in terms of the things that I've kind of done in my adulthood, bro, probably the most notable thing is my band, or our band, Sons Is On. So I'm the lead singer for Sons Is On, and that's what most people, I guess, attribute me to. I have a media company as well with my sister, and we make TV shows and digital content. And more recently, I've built an NFT project, bro, called the Eager Beaver project, bro, which I'm loving. Yeah, so that's a new space for me, bro. But I'm a bit of a tutu, bro, when it comes to. I think I just learn best when I do things. So I was into crypto, for the last sort of 18 months, and then when NFTs came around, I really, really wanted to know what it was about and where it was going. And the fastest way for me to do that, bro, was to build one. So that's what I did, bro. And there's been some learnings, bro, and it's awesome though, and the community's flourishing, and it's something that I'm really proud of, bro. Yeah.
Bro, and I'm proud of you too, and you kept that on the low.
Only because I wasn't sure if it was going to work, bro.
But I really enjoy it. You know, I've been dropping into the Discord and Eager Beaver over the last week since you launched last weekend. You know, it is really cool, bro, and even just how you've been able to create. You know, the intention behind it and why it's a beaver and the community aspect and people who love music and festivals and even just love being a part of something like that. I've felt it surely within that space. And before we get into the Eager Beaver, bro, because this is something that's current in your space and be cool to talk about the evolution as to how you arrived to that. And if we were to think about Sons of Zion and, you know, you've been around, you know, for over a decade now and having your skin in the game in that space. You know, what are some of the things that came up for you being in a band and having this passion for music and singing and bringing joy to people? Like, talk about that whole experience being in a band, bro.
Yeah, bro. I kind of snowboarded really, really quickly, bro. How we started was myself and two of my childhood mates. We started out in one of the bros' garage and we were just making cover videos, bro, and putting it on Bebo. Back in those days,
Love Heart.
Yeah.
Want to be my other half?
Yeah, bro, yeah. So people were starting to heart our videos and all that kind of stuff, and then we thought, far out, people actually, you know, dig what we're doing. And from then on, bro, we just got a hold of some other friends that we knew that played instruments, and bro, I used to ring pubs and say, hey, can we come and play at your pub, you know? And they're like, oh yeah, what's your name? Oh, Sons of Zion. Nah, never heard of you, hang up. Because in those days, bro, there was no internet, or there was, but no sort of like Facebook, Instagram.
So they couldn't necessarily see or...
Bro, yeah. I was only as good as what I was trying to tell them, you know. So they'd say things like, oh, you can play on a Thursday or Wednesday. And we'd drive to those towns or whatever, play to nobody. I even remember times, bro, playing and the cleaner would start mopping the floor, bro.
Wow.
You know, putting the seats up. But now looking back, bro, I cherish those times because they're the character builders, And I really believe if you can play to no one, that's way harder than playing, you know, the One Loves and Bay Dreams and festivals like that. So those were big character building times for me, bro. And,
wow.
Then we kind of went from there to opening for bigger bands like Quarter and Catch a Fire, who were pumping, you know, at the time, and still are now. And then things just snowboarded, bro. We started getting songs on the radio and traveling overseas and touring the world and stuff like that. But to be honest with you, bro, when I got to about 25, 26, I started to lose myself, bro.
Right.
Yeah, my identity was mixed between who I actually am and who...
You've been perceived as?
Who I'm being perceived as, bro. And I started to... I think feed that a little bit, bro. Well, maybe I wasn't feeding it. It was that everyone was gassing me up, and I wasn't grounded enough or strong enough in my identity to remain who I was.
Wow. And
then, you know, I made some really poor decisions, bro, in my mid-20s that, you know, landed me in hot water, bro. You know, and I got stuck there, bro, for a long, long time. And I hurt a lot of people, you know, during that time. And, bro, like I say, I got stuck there for ages. And I didn't know how to get out of that hole that I put myself in. And in some ways, bro, I was keeping myself in that hole because I was guilty. I didn't think I deserved to get out of that hole.
Wow.
But I think looking back now, bro, every time that I've had times in my life where things have gone pear-shaped, it's when I'm not being my authentic self. And that's the danger zone. Now, the cool thing for me now, bro, that I've been able to get the tools and help from beautiful people like yourself, bro, is I've got a measure and a parameter where I know if you're going to be not yourself, Rio, that's when bad things happen for you. So it's cool, bro. I've got like a line now that I know.
You've got the awareness, eh?
Yeah, I've got the awareness, bro.
And the boundaries.
The boundaries, bro. Every time I'm not authentic, that's when you're in, you know, the danger zone where things can go pear-shaped for you.
Wow.
So it's a beaut, you know, not to disrespect that people got hurt along the way through me being unauthentic and hurting people and making silly decisions. But I think the beautiful thing about it for myself is that I now know to stay authentic. And it's gotten to the point, bro, where I don't even have to remind myself to be authentic now.
Yeah.
Because it's just within me.
You've pulled yourself through that valley of guilt, that and carrying their weight, to whereas now it's not there, and you're able just to sort of like flow within that state. And if we're to think about that, like it's a very common thread or voice or echo now for people to find the authenticity. And for someone who is just stepping into their gift, and they might be in, whether it's music, whether it's acting, whatever it is, but they're getting this recognition, or they're getting this validation from people around them. And what would be some advice, there's the authenticity, but what would be some advice for people to remain grounded within these kinds of new spaces? Because it could be easy to fall into that because it feels good, and you start to believe what people are saying, but it's dragging you away from the starting intention. So what would be some advice for people, bro, to understand themselves better, and the separation between validation and validation of self?
I think really having, even writing down on paper, bro, who you are. That if I had done that in my early 20s and really sat with that, even for days and weeks until I was certain that this is who I am, then, I would have been able to step into these spaces with an identity. But I was just flowing, bro. I was young, and I was just enjoying doing gigs and traveling. And so I think the only way to mitigate the person you don't want to be is to have the person you want to be.
Wow.
Within you.
There's that identity shift, eh?
That's right, bro. Because if you don't take the time to make that person for yourself, or identify who that identity is, then that one that you don't want to be, that people will gas you into, will inevitably latch onto you. And that's what happened to me, bro. And that's what I'd say, bro. Having a very strong sense of identity.
That's honestly extremely valuable, having that clear vision, or that clarity of who are you really, and just having even just bullet points of, this is who I am, this is who I would like to be even, and anything that doesn't align with that, you're able to now come back into that space. And that's powerful, bro. And for someone to go through such a challenging, I wouldn't even say time, but it's more of a period, bro. You were there for a season, and you were consciously keeping yourself there. You chose to suffer because of the suffering you imposed on others. And for you to carry that, to now move beyond that, there's so much weight behind what it is you're sharing. And so just want to reiterate to those who are listening to this just how important it is to understand, or to get to know yourself better. Because when you go and step out into the world, I think the thing that I like the most, bro, about where you are now, and that I can see within myself as well, and I recognize it in other people, is when you go into a room, and it doesn't matter what the room is, you can sense a person who is standing in their truth. It doesn't matter what bro, I'm getting goosebumps because I can visualize it. When you can go into a room, or you can be around anyone, and you can be yourself, that is a person who has self-love, I believe.
100%, bro. And I wonder if I would be doing the things that I'm doing now, like even with the NFT stuff and building projects, would I be doing that if I didn't have that season in that hole? So I'm grateful for it, bro. It's it was a season of not then, but since then it's been a season of growth. It's been able to accept myself and the mistakes that I made, and the people, and accepting that I hurt people. And it's one thing to say sorry, bro, but I think the better thing to do is not to show how sorry you are, but to do actions, bro, that show that you've actually taken the time to do the mahi and change.
Yeah. And that's what it comes down to, is that we don't want to, words are so extremely powerful, but they lose power when the words aren't consistent with how you're showing up.
That's right.
You know, and I learned that in my relationship with Inipania, where I'd say sorry, and I'd say sorry, and I'd say sorry for the same thing that I was doing. I started to feel the impact, not just within her trust within that word, but my trust within that word and within words in general. I was losing integrity, basically. And so instead of saying sorry, it's how can we find the moments where we can make the necessary changes so then that word actually becomes something. And it's great for you to accept that responsibility, to not only do it just once or twice, but you've been able to sustainably show up as that version where it's love that's coming out and it's felt, bro.
Yeah, no, choice, bro. And I think when I was in that season of being in that hole, bro, I knew that the thing is, bro, is that I've always had a very strong work ethic, and it's something that I pride myself on, bro. Like, being a mahi dog is something that I love doing, and I pride myself on being a finisher. I don't like to start things and not finish them. But the problem with that was when I was down and out, mahi became that persona of being a workhorse. That was my mask, bro. Because
escapism, eh?
Yeah, bro. And I felt like if I mahi hard, then no one will ask questions because they just think, oh yeah, Rio's got it all together. He's all good. So that's why I used to just pile my plate up, so that everyone would think that I was all good. Whereas on the inside, bro, I was a broken little man, little boy, you know. Whereas now I'm piling my plate up because that's in my DNA to work hard, but I'm piling it with a way different purpose, you know, in a way different way. I've attached meaning to why I want to do these things, explore these things like NFTs and stuff like that. It's not busy to be busy. You know, it's busy for legacy. It's busy, but it's piling my plates up to etch my name in history so that my children and their children and their children, it's not for me, bro, to blow my own trumpet. It's so that my moko and their kids can be like, Koro was brave, therefore I can be brave, you know. Koro tried, therefore I can try. Or dad tried, and
I love that.
It's just repackaged, bro. If that makes sense.
And it is such a. It could be seen as a micro shift, but such a macro change in approach. You know, like something has just switched internally, and it only takes that one little moment, that realization, or the acceptance, or whatever it is, where it just significantly changes what you would usually do. But the outcome is completely different. Yeah. You know, based on that intention and based on how you approach things. And it's mean to see how you've been able to now leverage, you know, what it is that you've gone through to now put it into something that is more meaningful and purposeful for you. And moving through, you know, to now this project, bro, where you can pour so much of your heart into and something that, you know, cuts out the middleman who are trying to take a little piece of the pie from creatives and creating this bridge between, you know, artists and fans. And, you know, talk about Eager Beaver, bro. Like, what is this project and something that you're showing up in?
Yes, I guess the overarching kind of theme of Eager Beaver is community and connection. And we're doing that through music with myself, Kings and Stan. So we just started there because music's what we know and what we do. So I guess that's the way that people are coming into the space. But once they get into the space, what it's actually about is providing a safe space for our whānau to learn NFTs, cryptocurrency, and the digital world. Because whether we like it or not, bro, we're going there. And that's because the movers and shakers of the world are in there. You know, these phones that we talk on and all these big companies, they're going there. So if we can help our whānau within that space to navigate it, to be safe, to be heard, to ask questions, then that's all within Eager Beaver as well, bro. So we've got a roadmap as well of things that we want to do as a project in terms of artists and bringing artists and fans closer together. So it's kind of twofold, bro. There's two parts to it. There's the educational safe space, and then there's the music stuff. So people are in there for two different reasons, but the overarching thing as a community, bro.
And
it's beautiful.
That's us to a T, though, isn't it? You know, we're cultural people.
Yeah.
And we understand connection. We understand, you know, ecosystems. We understand, you know, building authentic relationships. Like, we know all of that. And what I've noticed anyway, bro, is that there are a lot of greenies in terms of people who have been on the fence in the past and like been observant and what is this whole NFT world, or what is cryptocurrency, and my very minimal experience within NFTs is that it's such a great introduction to this world, because you're there for the art, you're there for the project, but it's built on cryptocurrency, you know, it's built on decentralized, all of these terminologies that are shared, and it's a great place to learn about the world. And it's, for me anyway, bro, it's opened my mind to so much new possibilities and potentials. And before we go into thinking along those lines, bro, like, let's talk about why a Eager Beaver.
Yeah.
You know?
Bro, I watched this documentary about beavers on the Discovery Channel, bro. And I just ended up having an infinity with the beaver, because the beaver's a natural engineer, bro. And he's a mahi dog. So a beaver, bro, will spend its whole day, for no reason, like he doesn't get anything from it, chewing on trees, collecting branches, building these dams. Once he's built the dam, bro, every animal within that ecosystem benefits from the ponds that this dam creates, bro. So, like I was talking about before with my work ethic, when I saw that, I was just like, beavers are mean. I've actually got an infinity with beavers and ants, bro, because they mahi up as well. So when I started to think about doing an NFT project, I was certain in my mind that I wanted it to be a beaver, in terms of representing on the artwork side of things. When I first started it, I was only thinking about doing it with Sons of Zion, because I was trying to figure out, especially with COVID, bro, like all of our gigs and festivals have been canned. So I was trying to pivot, bro, and find other avenues to still share our art and be able to be relevant artists. That's how I ended up in the NFT space, bro. But what I quickly discovered is, if I do it just with Sons of Zion, there's a lid there, there's a ceiling, because it's just going to be the people who enjoy our music. So what I ended up doing is kind of restructuring it into a dam, like an online dam, where other animals can be released into the ecosystem, so that new bands can come on and utilize what we're doing. And that's not to say that bands have to, like they can go and do their own NFT or whatever, but we've definitely structured what we're doing in a way that if, you know, some of our artist mates do want to come on, then we've already done, you know, the mahi, the coding, and all the stuff that it takes to build these things. And that's heaps, bro. It's huge.
And also, the other cool thing that I saw within the roadmap is the possibility for new talent to come through, where the Eager Beaver community gets to put a vote or gets to bring recommendations to highlight, you know, some of these amazing talents, because, bro, we're rich with it. There's just lack of opportunity for some of these artists and some of these up-and-comers. But not only can they get highlighted, but they can get mentored and supported by people who are well equipped within the industry, such as yourself, the Bro Kings, and our brother Stan. So do you want to talk about a bit about that, brother?
Yeah, bro. I think with anything that I try and do, bro, I know that there has to be an element of give back and gratitude, because those are the things that will afford you more blessings. So within our roadmap, bro, I've tried to integrate a lot of give back through what you're talking about, and also doing things like giving instruments to schools that the Discord community will decide which kura those $10,000 grants go to with instruments and stuff like that. But in terms of the artist thing, bro, that's something that I'm super excited to do, bro, because for us as a community, like the community will present those people to us, and then we might literally change someone's life forever, bro. You know, and that's better than any money, bro. So I can't wait to do that, bro. And man, for myself, thinking back to when I started music, if you know, Dave Dobbin was like, yep, I'm gonna mentor you, you know, I'd be like, far out. You know, that would be life changing, bro.
It's such a good way to fast track, you know, the journeys of people, you know, whether you're into art or whatever it is. If you're mentored, holy hell, it creates such a significant leap from where you are to where you want to be. If you're around the right person, if you're getting the right advice, and it's such a cool part, it's a cool utility within the Eager Beaver. And when you think about, this project, bro, what would be the ultimate outcome for you?
Yeah, I think the ultimate outcome, bro, is that we'd create a space that was pivotal. This is just for me personally, bro. That was a pivotal moment and a pivotal space for our people, for Māori people, bro, to come and to learn, to connect. I'm passionate about being Māori, bro. I love being Māori. And if I can provide a platform and a safe place for our people to learn, I think, that's one of the major goals for Eager Beaver. In terms of creatives, bro, I like you touched on, bro, if we can really credit the artists, whether that be music, painting, whatever, and cut out everyone between the artists and the people who love that art, because anyone in between has got an agenda, bro, and they're taking pieces of that pie. So if we can bring that relationship from 10 degrees of separation to no degrees, that's an awesome thing too, bro. And then if we can help people make connections with other people, and meaningful connections, bro, not only in the Discord but in real life, and that's something that we've tried to do within that space, bro. Like, we've set up a channel that's dedicated to our people in there being able to list their small businesses, whether it's eyelash, they do eyelashes, or they're builders, or they're plumbers, and just being able to support each other that way, bro.
That's cool. Another thing that I liked was there's a Te Reo Māori chat as well.
Yes, bro.
And we've got people who are really competent within our language and tikanga, Te Kanapu comes to mind, our brother Donnie, and it's really cool just to see that popping off. And we've got people who are newbies and people who are even wanting to learn in that capacity, and that's the cool thing about Discords in general, and really coming back to this one is that we've got that Te Reo Māori chat, we've got general chit chat, we've got a mental health chat. So not only are you here to learn about the project and the crypto world, there are other support networks in there where you can go and engage, and you're building these authentic relationships built on what it is that you need or what it is that you can give, which is super cool.
100%, bro. And the other cool thing that I love about it, bro, is you don't have to be whakama. You can remain anonymous if you choose to, or you can disclose who you are, but you can go into the Te Reo chat, and you don't have to be whakama, bro. You can, and we're encouraging people to have a go at using Te Reo when you're typing, and if you get it wrong, kei te pai, that's the kind of atmosphere that we're trying to build in that space. So
that's cool, and I'm looking forward to it, bro. Definitely. I'm up in there, and I'm in there sort of going to be in there a bit more regularly over the course of this project to come in and share and collaborate with other people within that space. So I'll actually leave a link to the Discord within this chat, so you can go down, click on that link, and just get yourself involved, and you get access to the bro who's in there regularly as well. So yeah, bro, looking forward to that. And the one thing that came to mind as we were talking within that space, bro, is that there's such a, I believe there's a gap between people who think a certain way, whether they're visionaries or they're so motivated, or they just believe and have the confidence in themselves. And then there are people who aspire to have that, but don't necessarily have it at the moment, in terms of they're not applying it, or they haven't unlocked something within themselves yet. What do you think it is that could support people to not necessarily get there right away, but how could they get more aligned to either that positive state or that forward thinking? What's something that comes to mind for you, bro?
Yeah, I think the first thing, as you're asking me that, the first thing that I thought of is you are who you hang with. That's probably the most important thing, bro. You are who you hang with, and like we were talking about before, bro, off camera, the more you think about who you want to be, those kind of people will continue to keep falling into your lap or into your life. And it might start out, bro, that you can't physically hang with these people, but Discord offers somewhat of an opportunity to kind of be with these people online. But even when you came into the Discord the other day, bro, I truly believe now, and I didn't think this was possible, but you can actually feel wairua through the computer. I remember when you were sharing, bro, the chat was silent. Everyone was engaged, and the gems that you were spitting, bro. So, you know, I'm not a believer now that there's no genuine connection through technology. I think there actually is.
100.
And Discord offers a great way to start being around people who are forward thinkers, who are positive. And that's the beautiful thing about these Discords and these communities, bro. Not just ours, but, you know, there's plenty of projects out there.
I just really love connection. Like, I'm someone who has a gift for connecting with people, you know, and I can look at my life and it's been built on relationships, conversations, and the Discords that I've been a part of. My life has significantly shifted because of these different conversations that I'm having, listening to people's thinking, listening to their dreams, and it's almost instilled this confidence, but also released the ceiling that I placed on my mind. Because what I feel may be happening for a lot of us, and bro, even for me, I still get it from time to time, but when we say, oh, I want to do that, we immediately limit that by just saying, oh no, I can't do that. You know, we shut it down almost right away. But when you can explore these thoughts, or you're around certain people who are having these thoughts, not only can you say that, but man, it actually turns into something more, because you're around positive people who are also dreaming along that same line. Not only are you heard, but you get now the opportunity to receive different ideas that could turn the idea that you had into something far greater. And this is me sharing from my own personal experience, where I've dropped something in and man, it's just exploded. And it's been happening like a lot in my life recently. And that saying is true, that you are who you hang around, or your life is built off the 5 people that you hang around with most. And you might say, oh, bro, I look around my life and I've got my family and these people who aren't necessarily on that same wave. And this is the amazing thing with technology, and particularly Discords, is you don't have to just be around these people. You can go into these spaces and receive and create new connections. And that's what I feel could definitely bridge the gap, is involving yourself in these kinds of spaces and around these kinds of people.
Yeah, 100%, bro. And I think going into these spaces with an open mind as well, with a mind that's ready to receive. I mean, you could go in there skeptical, but you probably will leave with nothing, you know. So my encouragement would be for people to come in with an open mind and an open heart, you know, and like a ready soil that's ready for seeds to be planted and for those seeds to flourish in time when you're ready. I think another thing too, bro, is that for myself, as someone who's built a project, and I guess in some ways as a visionary, I'm scared too, bro. You know, I'm scared all the way, but I'm not scared enough to not do it. You know what I mean, bro?
Yeah.
I think the thing, like I had a cordial with Mr. G, bro.
He's the man. Shout out, bro. Mr. G.
Shout out the bro.
He's the man.
The man, the absolute man. And I had a catch up with him, bro. And I said to him, when I saw that he was doing his NFT project, I was like, bro, I felt instant comfort, because now there's another bro out in the ocean with me, treading water. So yeah, bro, I think that's another thing to say too, that maybe the people that people look up to, just realizing that they're scared too, you know, to a degree.
There's a healthy fear though, isn't there, bro?
Yeah, bro.
I think the more fear is not doing it.
That's right, bro. Yeah, and fear's important, right? Because if we didn't have fear, we'd wear blindfolds and cross the road. You know? Exactly. So fear's important, but it's also good to keep it where it belongs, bro? And not let it consume you and stop you.
100%. And I love that whole whakaaro is, you know, bringing it into, you know, a real personal way of approaching fear. Is, would you rather step into fear and change your life, either in a micro way or macro way, in a small way or in a big way, but ultimately it's happier, you're a bit more full? Or would you rather sit in fear of not having that and your life remaining the same? And if we can arrive at an answer that is authentic, it makes it a bit more easier, because you've assessed the risk. You've assessed that you're not even assessed it, you've accepted that it is going to be hard. And And when you have that moment of accepting it and you take on that responsibility, it builds you with more confidence and belief to just take that initial step.
That's right, bro. And the more cliffs you jump off, the easier they become to jump off, bro. Because you know, like in those early days of Sons Is On, man, I was shunting, bro, to play for 5 people. You know, and then but you keep doing it, bro, and you keep doing it. You keep showing up. You keep putting one foot in front of the other. You keep working towards those 10,000 hours. And now, bro, I can walk out in front of 30,000 people and not feel any millimeter of fear, bro.
Wow.
Because I've done the work. Because I love what Kobe Bryant said, bro. He said, the only time you're nervous is when you're unprepared. And that's so powerful, bro. He knows he's shot enough goals outside of the game when he's training that he doesn't even have to worry, bro. He's just stepping out what he already knows.
Wow.
So yeah, bro.
That's so cool. And I'm glad that we brought this back up, because I wanted to ask this when we're talking about sons. But what is that feeling, bro? Like when I'm at a festival, bro, I'm like, this is on, but I'm on this side. What is it like as an artist, bro, performing to thousands and thousands of people, bro? Like, what is that like?
Bro, it's super humbling, bro. Like it's all sorts of things, bro. It's exciting, but for me, bro, it's humbling because a lot of these songs, you know, you pen in your garage or just at home, and then to hear people singing it, bro, at the top of their lungs it's super humbling, bro. And it's an experience that is like, it's kind of like a gas station for me, bro, where it fills me because I can look out at that and I can be like, well, if I can do this, I'm pretty sure I can do, you know, whatever it is that I put my mind to. And it's a nice reminder, bro. It's a nice reminder, and bro, can't beat it.
You can't even put it into words.
Can't put it into
and
words.
it's crazy because there's such a small percentage of people who get to experience that, you know. And there's people like myself who would just be like, who just has that question, what does that feel like? Because it's mean down here, but what is it like up there?
And I think it's probably one of the only jobs where you get mass instant gratification, you know. And like people show love for your mahi, you know. Like if you're I don't know, say you're a builder, you build for your customer, your client, whatever, and those 2 people are like, awesome, loved your work and mean, and then you do another job for another 2 people. But for me, bro, it's like at once I get to see 30,000 people be like, we love your mate, you know, and enjoy what we do, bro. And far out, you can't get better than that. Cause
is there a standout show, bro? You know, whether it was in Aotearoa or abroad, even in your earlier days, bro, is there something that just significant to you? Yeah,
I think the first Ragamuffin we did, bro, when Ragamuffin sort of came to Aotearoa, that was huge. I don't know if you went to
bro,
one, bro.
I went to one, bro.
Yeah. So when we got the call up for that, bro, and we were on first, and so I was like, oh yeah, sweet as, you know, maybe 50 people were there, but it was packed, bro, you know, and that was a life-changing moment for me, bro. Just I guess going from the pub to a festival, bro, was huge, bro. Yeah, huge, you know. And I was chicken then of that, you know, just like I've got, you know, a measure of fear with what I'm doing with the NFT thing. Yeah, so the task becomes bigger, but I actually don't think the fear becomes bigger, bro. I think it's always just a measure. It's scaled, bro. Yeah. It's scaled because you've done the risk assessment, like you said. So
love that, bro. And the other thing that I want to talk about, bro, is the light in your world, because I know she's the centerpiece and she's had a great impact on your life, and that's your baby, bro. Like, talk about being a papa and your baby and what it's like for you to carry, because I know it's just the most important thing in your life, bro. So I just want to give you the time to talk about your journey as a papa. Yeah,
bro. Yeah, she's saved my life in a lot of ways, bro. You know, when I was in that hole that we were talking about, I knew I didn't know how to get out, but I knew that I had to get out. I just didn't have the tools, you know, and I knew that I needed to figure that out very, very quickly, because I needed to be a present father. And, you know, and I'm not talking about present showing up, I mean present even when I'm with her, you know, being of sound mind, having a clear head, and being able to instill important lessons and show love and show genuine love and that kind of thing. So she's created massive purpose for me, bro. Everything I do now is, you know, attached to her, and not attached to her in a way where she is responsible for anything. It's more like attached to her, where every action that I decide to do, it has to, bro, line up with her benefiting, you know, because she's my daughter, bro, and I love her.
Yeah.
And that's pretty much it, bro. You know, it's
beautiful,
that
bro.
simple, bro.
Yeah.
If this thing doesn't line up with my baby, you know, and what I want for my daughter and where she's going in her future, then probably don't have time for it.
Yeah.
Fuck, because I love her so much, bro.
Yeah. And that's like deep love, and it's always just such a joy, you know, just to sort of like hear you talk about her and for her to have this kind of impact, and for you to now base decisions and your life around that one beautiful soul of your daughter, bro. And before we do sort of like wrap up, cuz, you know, what's on your heart at the moment? Like, where are you currently in terms of your space, bro? Like, how are you feeling, and where is life for you at this point in time?
Bro, at this point in time, bro, I'm feeling very blessed, bro. I'm in a season of, bro, I'm feeling like a little bit, it kind of contradicts what I was saying when I was talking about fear, but I'm feeling fearless, but there is a measure of fear with the things I do. But I'm feeling fearless, I'm feeling powerful, bro. So I've really stepped into my power in the last, 9 months to a year. I'm feeling responsible and accountable. I know that my head's screwed on like it's never been screwed on before, bro. I'm focused. And another thing, bro, that I'm really enjoying. So I've just bought a house, bro, but while I was saving to buy that house, I moved back in with my mum and dad. And I've really been enjoying spending time with my parents, bro, because they're getting older, So I'm just in a really, really great place, bro, at the moment. A really, really awesome place, bro, where I'm comfortable with me. I'm comfortable with where I'm going. And not comfortable in a way where I'm comfortable and I'm not going to keep pushing. But I'm good, bro,
That's mean. That's
I'm
so
at peace,
beautiful.
bro. I'm at peace.
And there's, another thing that I just want to add to that. We caught up over New Year's and we had one of these delicious conversations that we're having at the moment. And one thing you said to me is you're just obsessed with feeling on and feeling good. And just want you to talk about that, bro. Just this, because it definitely had it changed how I approached a lot of things. About being obsessed about just feeling good and feeling switched on. And so, where did that come from for you, brother? And how did that change things up for you?
I heard this saying, bro, when I was young, and it was if you pay now, you can play later, but if you play now, you'll pay later. And that really has always resonated with me, bro. And since doing Te Araho, bro, the course with you and the impact that you had on my life, the more that I became that new identity that I made for myself, I became obsessed with chasing that identity and really embodying it, bro. And I think that I'm pretty close to that stuff that I wrote on that paper, bro, that I shared with our group. And I've just become obsessed with doing that, bro, and being that person. And like I was saying to you before, the opposite side of that coin is that I'm running or fleeing, not running, but I don't want to do the things that don't play into that. I just want to be on, bro. And it's like I say, bro, for my daughter, if dad's on, she's going to benefit, bro. When dad's off, well, that's wasted time, I think. Yeah. So, yeah, bro, yeah, I am obsessed with it, bro.
But and I've adopted that, and I was talking to you earlier around how, my idea of obsession, it had a negative connotation to it, but the way you brought it up around, there's a positive way to apply having an obsessive approach to things. And being obsessed to feeling good, there's something that I saw within that, is that when I'm feeling good, I'm feeling switched on, I'm feeling balanced, I can show up to all these different things. It's actually made me a better person by being obsessed with that version of myself or feeling good. And why wouldn't you want to feel good consistently or even better on a day-to-day basis? And even when I have my off days, it's not off. It's still all good. I'm resting, I'm rejuvenating. All of these kinds of things are taking place, and I now have created an approach for myself to show up in certain parts of my life. And it's interesting that it came just from that one conversation, because it has, bro, just flipped the switch for me this year. It's definitely played a part in that. And just want to give you some time, brother, to close us off by sharing, some words for our listeners that could potentially either open them up to learning or to growing, or something that you could have said to your younger self, I suppose. So just going to give it over to you, brother.
Yeah, bro, I think one thing that I'd love to say to people out there, bro, is that you're worthy. You're worthy of a mean life. You're worthy of a good life. And yep, that's going to take some stepping up and taking responsibility to make sure that life happens. But definitely, we all have our down times, but try not to stay there. I was definitely there for too long, and I probably ripped myself off a little bit, from where I could have been. But I'm out of that hole now, and I'm happy that I am, and I encourage people, to remember that you're worthy of a beautiful and amazing life for you, and your children and their children. It's going to take some mahi, but it's worth it, bro. It's worth it.
Beautiful, brother. And just to touch on to that, the feeling of feeling worthy and deserving of a fulfilling life is definitely something that we must take responsibility of and make a choice on and feel into that. And I think your vulnerability, bro, today, your story, just your words that are just pouring from your heart, I feel is definitely going to be supportive for those people who needed to hear that in this season that they're in. And from me, my brother, this podcast, just want to say thank you for showing up, for being yourself, for being such a great friend to me, and for also just being just this amazing version of yourself that you are. There's so much ahead of you. There's so much light that is just oozing out of you at this point in time. So just want to continue to give you that affirmation, to continue to water that soil, to keep shining that light and just being this authentic self, brother. Love you heaps, my bro.
I love you heaps too, my bro. And you've had a massive, massive part to play in the light that's shining out of me today, bro. I probably could have possibly been still down in the dumps, bro, if you hadn't reached out to me and offered, Te Arahu to me as a gift, bro, and it's a gift that I'll never forget, bro, and I love you heaps.
Me and my brother. Thank you, bro. Beautiful whānau. We'll catch up in the next one. Let's go.